Yo, hello. It has been a long time. Amogus, hello. The chatters. I've been drinking espresso in this measuring cup. Fix my sleep schedule. It's not even that bad. Um, Last night I stayed up to 2, which was unusually late for me. But usually I only stay up to 1. I said espresso. I didn't say espresso. I pretty consistently go to bed at like 1 in the morning. But it used to be worse. It used to be like 3 in the morning. The YouTube chat repper. Incredible. Wait, okay. I wanna get my audio in order. I have to 1 second. This is a test, by the way. You're not supposed to hear this. Okay, I last night I was like doing some audio testing and I had it sounding pretty good, but part of that was like voice quality. Like I was able to just hit like the right volume. Um, right now I am too close to having woken to hit that right volume. But yeah, I'm working on fixing my sleep schedule. Projects, what kind of projects? I feel like you are kind of crazy, which is like why, well, I feel like you're kind of crazy. So I'm interested in what projects you've been working on. Mixing music. Oh, okay, that is cool. Um, yeah, DM me if you have like suggestions for DM me on Twitter if you can. And just be like, hey, I'm crafting it and these are my suggestions for like a really easy audio setup. I'm willing to like pay money. Ideally, I would say like less than $200, but I've been working really hard on writing because I'd like to write a little novel. That'll probably it's gonna be shitty, but I feel like you have to write at least one shitty novel in your life. I'm building 2 databases and helping my brother start up a company idea, and I'm in between jobs. Cool. My dad was asking me to like set this AI thing up for him for like equity in a company that he wants to start. And the AI thing that he wants is for me to build some sort of algorithm that will generate code for a website, video or images for a website, and also text for that website. And then also base that off of like a company. So like he wants to see you should be able to put in like, I don't know, Google or Apple, and then it'll like generate a website that looks like an Apple website, which is a lot of work, especially because I think he wants it all to be like proprietary. Like he doesn't want me to use like open source stuff. So I was like, sounds like a lot of work. It wouldn't be so bad if I could just like plug in Stable Diffusion and like other algorithms, other like setup AI tools. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to scroll up in my chat because I was distracted. We're waking up slowly. Um, are your tweets part of the novel research process? Not really. My tweets are just okay. Here's the thing. With my real life relationships, I like very rarely talk about mental health issues or like express negative feelings. I will with like people that I'm very close like, with, like my girlfriend, but I tend to do it in a way that is like very toned down. So I think that I use the internet just as like a venting ground, like a dumping ground for everything that I feel, so that I'm not like bothering people that I care about. And then by the time that I speak to people that I care about, I've kind of like figured things out or chilled out a little. I'm all right at writing Python. Um, Python and R are the two languages that I'm most familiar with. My only experience with Java is like making old Minecraft mods. But like, because I was like 13, it wasn't like real programming. What I would do is I would just like modify values and stuff. Or like be like, all right, here's a new block, and it's just like the copy of like all the old data with like a different ID and like a different, it's like pointing to a different texture. So Ooh. Making Minecraft mods sounds based. With Swift. Not familiar with Swift. Yeah. I the kids on Roblox are gonna be crazy good coders. I think that like one of the best ways to get good at any skill is to find a hobby that like overlaps with that skill and just like go into it. So I love Dungeons and Dragons and I love like dice math and trying to optimize for ideal setups or just figure out like what is the best thing in X situation. And so I've made like Python matrices to calculate like how much damage reduction you get from like a flat damage reduction versus an increase in your AC. And that's like a very basic application of Python, but it's something that I was motivated to do just because I love the game. And it also taught me a little bit about Python. And so I used to do that a lot with Excel. And so I got really good at Excel just because, and also like Google Docs and stuff. And I think that a lot of people Like obviously, if you're working in like Excel or Google Docs, you're not working with like large databases. But I think you do get comfortable with the kind of basic statistics and also with like learning how to stretch a program to fit, things just by like digging into its code and whatnot. Like I think it's called Microsoft Basic. Is like the thing that you can use to write your own macros and stuff. Um, and you learn a lot by doing that. Thanks again for doing that interview for my thesis. Some of the trans artists who I've interviewed shared a similar sentiment. Cool. Hans Hermann Hoppe, mild L. Mild L. Mild L, but mild W as well. Centrists. Centrists. Drinks tea. Almost every politics author or theorist is like a mild L though, and a mild W. That's even true of people like, I almost want to say that's true of Marx as well. Marx is me, just like full L. If you are left of, or if you are right of Marx, you're going to have like mild L, mild W, probably. So I don't think there's any political author that I'm like full W's. The closest would maybe be like liberal authors, just because their ideas have been implemented so successfully. And also their ideas are like not that bad. They're like pretty decent. Why nations fail? Damn, I that was on my reading list, but I never got to it. It seemed really interesting to me. Just read the papers it's based on. Ooh, yeah, if you can do that, that's awesome. Because a lot of times the idea can be summarized within a paper, and you don't need the full book. Though I think that the full book, if you're consuming passively, like if you're listening to an audiobook, if you listen to the full audiobook, you'll get like, you miss some of the information. So it's better to do something like longer if you're going to passively consume it. Problem with summarization is the bias. That's true if it's not being summarized by the authors themselves. I also think that like Wikipedia is like pretty decent at summarization, even though it has like a slight liberal bias. My views on economics. I mean, I'm very much like a free market person, but here's the thing with like all of my opinions is that every opinion that I have is tempered by like a strong suspicion that I could be wrong. And I think that is like maybe the fundamental problem in politics is that there are kind of two issues in politics. One is like discovery, and the other is execution. And the process of discovering what is the best solution to anything is very difficult. And there's a very high probability that you are wrong about things. And so I think that the best political systems are ones that like insulate the system from making decisions that are going to be destructive. Um, and so that insulation can happen on like a matter of scale or just a matter of like not allowing it at all. So like the US government is good at preventing decisions from being made in general. Like it's a very slow system. And so that means that decisions that are made have to have like a very large degree of consensus. So that's one solution. Another solution that the US also implements is this kind of like federalist solution. Well, this solution where like there's lots of states and they sort of make different decisions and they see which one works. And so that is like preventing destruction as a matter of scale. So if a policy gets implemented that's bad, it only affects one place, and then they can, move away from that decision. Bro, I'm so tired. I just want to wake up. I just want to wake up. Maybe I should have an orange. Prudent bureaucracy. Not exactly. Because, like, if you slow down the execution process by introducing bureaucracy, that's like one way to prevent decisions from happening that are bad, but it's not the only way. Yeah, people are always using to pick somebody. Orange. Orange. Dude, this one is tough. What is what is my parasocial father figure doing? That's the real question.
I said, yo, bro.
Okay. Isn't he a high school friend? Why is Kai going to him saying, yo, bro, I need your name? That's a good question. But that maybe I'm too white for that. I don't know. In my school, we all use our full real names, but maybe it's different in different places. I don't know. Wait, hello?
Last time. Ever since then, I've completely stepped back. The only person who I've been
Look at this gamer.
in conversation with was...
Wait, is it a fucking illegal to watch his? Oh my god. Switch, what the fuck are your rules? Okay, we're not watching him. Then. JK, guys. Oh, it was a little meme. It was a little meme. The topic is small orange. Okay, that's gonna sound weird. I'm sorry. We're muting the mic so I can eat this orange. Okay, now it's unmuted. Okay, so here's... I want to mute... Bro. I wish that I had more espresso. I've never done cocaine. Or meth. Or MDMA or LSD or shrooms. The only illegal drug that I've done is marijuana. I've also never had nicotine. Nicotine is similar to caffeine. That's cool. I love caffeine. One of my favorite drugs. Oh. Okay, here's the other problem. Is it last night? I slept so weird. Now my back hurts. It's totally bullshit. Totally awful.
My go through mentally, all I can promise to her is that I will make sure shit is right.
Thank you.
I
You
will
have a
make
good
sure.
day.
I don't know what happened. I'm just hearing two sides of stories. I don't know what happened. I'm here to figure it out again with the law. I'm not here to go on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I have people dragging my name, bro. They're dragging it, bro.
Okay,
I keep
hold on.
saying I didn't reply. The reason why I didn't reply.
That's true here too. It is true, and it is a big deal. But like,
Okay, the new year just started. This is the things I don't want to see happen, man. This is the things I don't want to see happen. Now, chat. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this right here. I wish I could tell you how things played out in my perspective, how things went along in my perspective. But you guys have to trust me on this when I say trust me. I cannot.
I mean, I think that if Trump runs, people will get behind Trump. But I sort of feel like Trump is going to be pressured not to run. I mean, is going to be pressured not to run. The question is like, is the pressure going to prevent him from running? Yeah, but like I could see him not really trying that hard and being pressured to just like, come on, man, just like chill, just retire. I know that he's been taking pot shots at DeSantis.
Talk about anything else unless, bro, it's a lot.
to be fairly coherent, I feel like everything that was said in here could have been said in about 2 to 3 minutes. Not even like speaking like Destiny autism levels, just as a normal human. You could have said everything in 2 minutes. It took like, this is like a 25-minute video, and he said like almost nothing. Fuck off. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, R word, RAPE. That's the whole thing about this. For those who don't know, and yeah, I'm not thinking. What's it called? Let me go ahead and say this. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I know.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch just to YouTube.
Or jump into conclusion because I wasn't responding. I'm taking this very serious because my name is on
I'm gonna
this.
switch.
Okay, my name
But
is
2
on
minutes
this,
equals
and
less
it's
views? I don't think he's doing this video for views. I think you're fucking insane if you think that. This guy is on like the... You have
I mean, here's the thing about money in politics is that obviously money has an influence in politics. Like, lobbying is a multi-billion dollar industry. It's not a multi-billion dollar industry because corporations are like stupid and love spending their money on things that don't work. It's a multi-billion dollar industry because it actually gets things done. There are like studies on how political decisions correlate with like the views expressed by elites and special interest groups, and it finds that like the preferences of elites and special interest groups tend to play out in legislation. But the thing about that is that like there's a lot of overlap between the interests of elites and the interests of like everyday Americans. So that's one thing. The other thing is that like everyday Americans are also just like oftentimes a lot of people don't vote, right? The people who are most motivated to vote are also the people that tend to be like in special interest groups or affiliated with them. And then the other thing is that, what was I going to say? Oh, a lot of times the decisions made that are like influenced by elites and money and politics are decisions that like everyday Americans just like don't care that much about, even if they disagree with them. So like, yes, money and politics matters a lot, but it's not like money and politics is like causing decisions to be made that are expressly against the will of the general public very often. And I think that that is like kind of the sticking point for people, is that people don't understand how money and politics works. They think it's this like magic bullet that allows corporations to just like write legislation to like fuck over people. But corporations are also not like, mustache twirling villains. They tend to agree with a lot of Americans, or rather, a lot of Americans agree with them. So, just copy. No, I disagree with Destiny on this. I think at least because Destiny is always like, show me the legislation that's passed, which I think is like not a good metric. Like I think that he thinks that it is like not an issue at all, or that has like no effect or very little effect, which I think is not realistic. But also maybe he doesn't, maybe his position is more nuanced. I just don't know. Oh, I wish this. Hold on. Does this have the? I don't think it does. Hold on. I used to have this like black border on my chat text, but I think I got rid of it. Um, could you explain your trans women look like men on Twitter take? It's literally what it sounds like. Trans women look like men. Yeah, I'm no longer playing the Destiny stream. No, I would say that like in general, trans women look like men. Occasionally trans women don't look like men, but it's rare. Why do people not like money in politics? I think it's because people are populist, and at the end of the day, people like want the people to decide everything. I do think that I, in general, look like a man. I also dislike populism. I think the average person is fucking stupid. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at his face.
involved.
He's talking about
But,
Miskiff.
like, there's no like I don't want to. Why am I going to relitigate everything that happened to that? Like it happened. It's done. They had their investigation. It's passed. Like yeah, I'm done. What like well I'm not here to like argue about it. Like whatever happens and came from it.
His hair is blue.
Like, I'm not here on some fucking crusade. against
He's
it.
literally
Shit out.
blue
But,
right now. The blue man.
How could Miskiff and Maya cover it up when they said everything on stream? What was covered
I
up
like his
was
hair.
evidence,
I'm
like,
glad he finally got it done.
That came out after everything was public. What do you mean? Bro, stop. Vosh cringe translation for anyone interested. Wait, what?
I haven't spoken to him. I haven't spoken to
You know, I met up with
said
Vosh.
you went up to him
in
and told
Seattle.
him what the accusations were from her. You gave what? You said that you talked to him.
He did it for
about
charity,
her
yeah.
Accusations.
His whole image is up right now, gang. He's everywhere.
Why do I? We'll watch this later, okay? I don't think most people right now care about Vosh.
Yeah, this blue-eyed guy.
Okay, if you want, this is my take on everything that happened. Okay, if you wanted in one clear, concise little thing. Okay, at this point, it would be very hard to convince me otherwise, and a random statement from a third-party investigator that doesn't release anything is not going to be enough, right? This is my guess of what happened for everything. If I need it to be said in 1 60-second thing. Okay, okay, Clippers, get ready. Okay, this is my take on the whole Miskiff stuff. Okay, I'm trying to remember all the details. I'm gonna end up getting a detail where I'm gonna fuck something up, and then it's all gonna fall apart, or everybody's gonna get mad. But it sounded like what happened was the Miskiff stuff, or the crazy slick stuff, started to get. No, hold on. This was the night of. Somebody realized that some shit got fucked, and that Adriana somehow word got back to Miskiff that Adriana was gonna write a tweet longer exposing Jake, and Miskiff
Bro,
didn't
okay.
want that to happen, or wanted
I'm gonna
something to be like kind of
ban
like,
more
oh, shit,
people
my
who are
friend's
just,
getting
like,
canceled. And probably in like fucking like in panic
fucking
mode,
negative.
probably talking to like Maya, who's also really close friends with Jake, and Mitch, and I think Barry, and they're like, hey, listen, like maybe go talk to Adriana, like see what's going on. You are Maya Higa, you are a woman, like just chat with her, and maybe figure out. And then they're probably going over the understanding, like, okay, well, hold on, did Jake like fucking ultra rape you?
Like,
Or
who's
did he
this
kinda creep you?
fucking
Like, okay, well, if he's kinda creepy,
seven-armed
like, maybe
man
don't, like blow him the fuck up, although
who was
something
just
like that.
adding
There's a little bit of
nothing to the
misogyny. That's my
conversation.
guess for everything that happened, right? Now, to be completely honest, my personal thing was I don't even think this might be the hottest take of all. I don't even think that's necessarily that horrible. The horrible part that nobody really talks about, the horrible part was all the shit afterwards where Adri was like getting really fucking weird treatment from Jake, trying to like blacklist her from fucking parties and shit. And that part did happen, and I know that happened, and I heard that from a lot of people behind the scenes that happened, stuff that didn't even go public that happened. I knew that happened, and I know a lot of other people knew about it too. That was the truly fucked part of all of it. It wasn't even the Miskiff Maya shit, right? But the Miskiff Maya shit, it happened. For sure it did. The way they talked about it the next day on stream, oh, Mitch came through big last night, like, oh my god, like all of that. Of course, they went over to talk to her about like, hey, like what's going on with this statement, like let's chat. That was pretty obvious, right? But there you go. That's everything for that. But I'm past that. Moved on. Don't care. Whatever. I'm past all that shit. You are my Higa. You are a woman. Okay. Jesus. Jovi's posting text messages she's getting from Kai fans, which are shitty, but that's always to be expected. Overall take on the Kai Senate stuff.
You are Maya.
Kai Senate.
Yeah, I'm just a React streamer now.
I don't know if there's enough information to have. I think you need to wait for more info to come out before I have like a full opinion. It could be that Kai did
Destiny's really good at like
I'm kind of
interpersonal
leaning towards
analysis.
Kai didn't seem like he did anything too fucked up right now.
I was saying this last night, but I
if
think
more information
he.
comes out, that opinion might change.
It is a good fair for him, even though I find it personally. I think it's more interesting when he talks about politics.
Rate his response out of 10, like 3 out of 10. He didn't have much to fuck up, but he just no, I'd probably give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. He made a couple of.
Is Destiny's
faux
Life
pas
such a
that was
mess?
like, okay.
I feel like it's not. I feel like he puts himself in fucking insane situations though, for no reason. Or just because he likes the drop. He likes like the challenge of fighting off the insane situation. Which, good for him, I guess. I think politics is more interesting. History's hard and kind of annoying. I say annoying because
I
like,
want to listen to.
how should I say this?
2 minutes?
Um,
Can't because it's all fucking muted.
There's a lot of disagreement about history, and a lot of times people have interpretations that are just like totally wrong. You have to read just like a ton to figure out which interpretations are wrong. I guess that's true of politics. I just have more of a background in politics, so I can like I'm more able to navigate it. With history, I try not to talk about history that much because even if like you are just like regurgitating the views of like a historian who's like well respected, lots of people will disagree with you, and they'll have like good disagreements that I will think, damn, I didn't think of that, and then it's like, well, I was kind of talking out of my ass because I was just regurgitating one opinion, but I didn't really know the other opinion. So I try not to talk about history that much just because I don't know that much about it.
Nobody's talking about is that the real people who fucked up the whole Kai shit, it's fucking Hassan and Pokey. Okay, I can't fucking believe that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to complete the loop by getting them involved somehow. You know, Train was right. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Psych. Say psych.
Yeah, it's fucking Brian, bro. I will ban you and take your. Oh, I didn't mean to pin that shit.
Wait, I didn't even make this train wrong, motherfucker. How are you actually watching the
Brian, I will
gameplay
ban you, take your photo.
and getting it wrong at the same time?
He
Grats.
said, okay. She said just call her phone. Damn, I need to get my Apple TV out the room. Not my fault, my guy. Oh yeah, true, so I can ban you.
Seems hard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's really hard, I think, to form like good opinions on history that aren't just like very generic. Again, it's just like something that like I just don't know about, so I try not to have super strong opinions on it. Usually when I express like a view or a take on history, it's something that is just like very narrow in scope and something that I'm willing to be corrected on. Most boring but most interesting topic is abortion. I feel like that is contradictory.
Ask, how did this? How did that? How did this? How did that? And nigga, Kai name is gonna have to bring it up.
I'm a little bit more awake now. A little bit more. I think I need to shave my armpits. Sleepy. It's a very lesbian look, isn't it? I don't know. Him acting like continuing to talk to Anna was completely normal, seemed wild to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like always hard to make judgments about things you don't know that much about, which I think is like fundamentally all judgments about like a streamer's interpersonal lives. So I try not to like be super judgmental. From the outside, it definitely looks like not the best decision. And it seems like people close to Stephen, like Dan, also agreed with that analysis. They didn't think it was like the best decision. But I also kind of think that like my impression of Stephen as an outsider is that he like likes putting himself in situations that are potentially going to be interpersonally destructive. So I don't think that it's like he thought that it would turn out well. I think it's like he just didn't care. Dead air. Taft, how right leaning are you? It's hard to say because I'm not really like a Republican. Honestly, I just say that I'm pretty like centristy. Like even with like trans stuff, in which case like I have like a very well defined. Actually, I don't know if I even have that well defined of a position. I have a position that is like outside of the mainstream progressive position. But at the end of the day, like I think that like adults should be allowed to do with their bodies what they will. Even if I don't recommend transition for people. Whoa, beast. Dark Evil Mac. You do consider yourself very right wing. Nice, and you're a dissident. The dissident right. I've been very much in like the dissident right communities. Like I very much keep tabs on what those people are saying. Good day, good people. So true. So true. The dissident right is like the. It refers to the far right. People like Curtis Yarvin or. How should I say this? There's like an intellectual movement that is like very right wing and that rejects both the kind of republicanism of the conservative, like mainstream right, and also the left, and critiques in general Republicans from the right. I think that it kind of boils down to two categories, or maybe three. There's like the racialists, the people who are like white identitarians. They were really big in 2016 and they kind of disappeared. They're still there, but like they just don't hold as much political capital anymore. Then you have like the theological dissident right, which I think is really on the ascendancy right now, which I'm not a part of. So that's like one of the reasons why I don't consider myself like part of the dissident right, is because I'm not part of this like theological project. And then you also have like the kind of like mold buggy people who are, I think they're like for like a purple Caesar, they're like reactionary, but like they're not really that into culture war issues. Hans Hermann Hoppe, I think, is also kind of in this place, and a lot of ANCAPs are in this place. Anti-Semitism. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I think it's the anti-Semitism is like more part of the white identitarian group. I'm also very much like not a fan of the anti-Semitism of the right. So that's like another splitting point for me. It's worse than it was 10 years ago. Maybe. Is the right not anti-Semitic enough? I mean, the anti-Semitism is really scary. I think that the reason why it feels like elevated right now is because we see a lot of people getting into anti-Semitism who we wouldn't have seen 10 years, kind of associating themselves with the movement or with the beliefs. Like Kanye West is a good example, or like Sneeko, this kind of group of like young, hip men who are non-white. It's like a big demographic that could potentially be very anti-Semitic and also lend a lot of power to anti-Semites, which I think is scary because we've always had like the white identitarian, like Aryan types who were anti-Semitic. But I think that the American political project was like good at controlling them for the most part, at least in like the modern era. And so I think a lot of like Jewish people they're always on edge about like the rise of that anti-Semitism, but it's like an old enemy. Like, you know, if you have like this familiarity with its weaknesses and like how strong it is in like the public consciousness. And then I think you introduce this additional anti-Semitic element, and then it gets like, oh, that's scary because it is potential for anti-Semitic beliefs to spread a lot further than just these like Aryans. I think that a lot of what am I saying? Oh, I think that a lot of left-leaning people have like weird racial views. I started, or I came out at 14, but I started HRT at 15. Did I mention how BLM and Antifa were pulling white elderly people from their cars in Portland? Dude, I'm so sorry. Right wingers are so fucking stupid sometimes. It's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe I'm like associated with these people because I will make like an argument on Twitter and then like right wingers will like misinterpret it and get angry at me. And it's like, it is supporting their position, but they're like angry at me because they're like, they can't comprehend like the language that I'm using. And it blows my mind. Like, perhaps one of the best arguments for why like white people don't have higher IQs is every fucking racialist person is so fucking dumb. It's unbelievable. Like, obviously there's like smart ones, but on Twitter, it is insane. Like, they will, it just blows my mind. Like, every interaction that I've had with these people is just like, this is the stupidest person that I've ever seen. I think it's probably because like the smart ones just like stay quiet about their beliefs. But yeah, it blows my mind because like this Damien guy, like, I don't like Antifa, I don't like BLM, right? But like, he's just like so fucking horny to like express his viewpoint that like he's misinterpreting what I'm saying as this like pro left-wing screed just because I said that I didn't like anti-Semites, which is again like a massive tell. Like, if you think that like not liking anti-Semites means that you like BLM or Antifa, like, you're fucked, because then you're like tacitly, you know, engaging this black and white thinking where like the anti-Semites are the good guys because they don't like BLM and Antifa. but then you're going to destroy your own political project if you believe that, because anti-Semitism is like not something that is going to be productive in the long run of history. Like, in general, I don't think that if you build a political movement or an ideology based on hate, that ideology is going to be like cannibalistic, self-cannibalistic in the long run, because that hate will just like destroy you. And it can like motivate political change and power in the short term, but it's not something that you can like build anything meaningful on. It's like quicksand. Okay, that's my rant. The average QAnon is vastly dumber than the average leftist. That's true. I mean, like, I think on average, probably left-wing people are smarter than right-wing people, at least in the United States. A lot of like college-educated people tend to be left-wing. College-educated people tend to be higher IQ. That's how you get this like mid-wit discourse in the right-wing circles, where people will be like, well, okay, liberals are like smarter on average, but like the very smartest people, they're actually right-wing, which is maybe it's true, but it sounds like the most cope thing ever. It's unbelievable. Why do you hate your race? Listen, I'm Jewish, okay? I love Jewish people. I don't think that right-wing people are more wealthy. No, I think right-wing people have less money overall. Like if you look at like the Hillary Clinton 2016 election, like the majority of the wealth in America voted for Hillary Clinton, which is like a weird way to quantify it, but yeah. I've always been into politics. When I was 13, my mom hired this like philosophy tutor for me, and he had me read Anarchy, State, and Utopia by Robert Nozick. And I became like a libertarian for a year, but I was 13, so it didn't matter. And then I became like more sort of left libertarian as a result of that. And I've always had retarded opinions. Always been interested in politics. A philosophy tutor and a logic tutor. I think the important thing about politics is like being willing to acknowledge that you could be wrong. Because like if I were in a position of power, what would I do? Like, would I implement my beliefs? No, I wouldn't. I would probably like appoint someone much smarter than me to just like run the platform, run the government. The first thing that I would do is like create a hiring committee to find like an intelligent person who can like delegate and work on this like discovery of like good policy. That would be like my first step. Just because like I have views about like what I think would be good or bad, but I don't know. I'm not like confident in them enough to execute on them. And I think having that like, that understanding of your own limitations is really important. Makeup. Republicans do have some of the poor white working class, but the vast majority of Republicans are far more wealthy. I don't think that's true. I think you should look into that. Liberals tend to be like more educated, and they tend to be like, and education correlates very highly with income. So I would suspect that liberals tend to earn more, which is good. Like, good job, liberals. I know that they're very rich people who vote Republican just for like tax breaks, but like if you were, but I think that like in general, that's not like where all the wealth is in America. Like there's a ton of wealth in like the upper middle class. It's like all of these, it's like managerial class of people that tends to be very liberal. Everyone votes their handouts though. That's like, two Taft streams. Yes, we're gonna stream more. Non-identitarian right. Bro, we need to have a non-identitarian. Okay, I call this the Caesarean right, okay? The right that just wants efficiency and just wants the right decisions, the decisions based on data to be implemented. That's the right wing that I'm in, okay? And some of those decisions are going to fall into like the left wing camp right now, and some will fall into the right wing camp. And what we need to do is we just need to have like a process for like discovery and implementation of like evidence-based policies. And if it's proven that like, for example, trans issues, that like HRT is good for trans people, let them have HRT. Like it's that simple. And right now, the evidence like leans towards it being like okay for trans people to take HRT. But like I can't recommend that because I don't think the evidence is strong enough. But like we should get more evidence and then we'll know, and then we can like give people a specific suggestion of like, okay, definitely do this or definitely don't do that. Or, you know, maybe it is just in the middle and it's like, you can do this, but like know that it's not going to fix all your problems. Okay. Isn't that what state governments are for? In theory, that's what all governments are like for figuring out what is right and then implementing it. But yeah, I'm also just like not a populist. It's like I don't care what like the average person thinks. The average person is like fucking retarded. Like if you ask the average person like, should we leave the EU? They'll be like, yes, leave the EU. But they don't have like any plan for it. So it's like an awful decision. Like just don't, like this government by like poll is awful. You can't run a government by poll. And so what you need is like some more sophisticated mechanism for figuring out what to implement. Oh yeah, like here's the other thing. Like police shootings. If you ask Americans how many unarmed black men got shot, they will give you answers that are like several orders of magnitude greater than the actual number. And the more progressive you are, the more off base you are. But even conservatives overestimate the number of like unarmed black men who are shot by police officers, which is like, it's again why like the public is just so uninformed on basically everything. You can't have them making policy. There needs to be like not only some mechanism to like implement policy based on data, but also some mechanism to like directly punish people who made that decision based on how good or bad it is, and to do that like in a very quick way. So I have views on this. I have like ways that I've like formulated for how you could mechanistically punish people, but basically you need like policymakers to have like very direct skin in the game, where if they fuck up, that fuck up goes straight to them. Public policy is not decided by the ADL, but it is decided by like the sum total of special interest groups, economic interests, and like American people. And like in general, I'm gonna be honest, there's not a terrible way to do it. Or like in general, they tend to get like okay results. That's why America is like the most powerful country on earth. But it could be better. It could be better, guys. And the cases where like it doesn't go well are like disastrous and awful. Bro, who's this fucking Damien retard? the ADL has influence in public policy in the same way that like pretty much every political group has like input in public policy. I don't think they have like way more than other groups. Like the Heritage Foundation has input. I'm banning Damien again because it's like the problem is like people who are like ostensibly close to me politically who are just like the worst. Who are just like so incompetent. I don't like right wingers. I don't like left wingers. I don't like people in politics. The best people in politics, like the chillest people, are libs. Why is that? Why are libs the chillest people? And like the smartest people? I can get along with libs and center-right conservatives, for the most part. Yeah, regular liberals, like capital L liberals, which is part of like center-right people in the United States, are like capital L liberals. I love counterpoints. Counterpoints based as hell. Okay. Counterpoints is a Chad. Bastiat is a Chad. I'm trying to wake up, Dev. I got awake, or I woke up a little yelling at people, which is fun. Bastiat is liberal. He's a capital L liberal. Okay, we're banning this Kirk Truss again. Kirk Truss guy. Kirk Tuss, that's his name. All of these dumb fuck right-wing chatters, they're all getting banned. I saw a little bit of his argument with with Destiny. No, Ariel Suarez, you are normal. You've been normal so far. Stay normal. You can be a far right person in this chat. You just can't be fucking annoying. No, I've enjoyed you so far. If you just add to negativity in the chat, I don't like that. You can discuss things, but you can't just be like bad faith, like annoying, bringing down the IQ of the conversation. Those things are banned, okay? You can be like ultra homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic. But if you are just like not being retarded with your arguments, if you're like communicating in a way that is like good faith to your opponents and not being like negative or like overly annoying, that's my freedom of speech position for this chat, okay? That's my ultra freedom of speech position. Just don't be annoying about it. That's the key. Don't be annoying. You can be wrong about anything. You can have any opinion. You just can't be triggering me with like being dumb. Okay, be right back. JK, I'm not gone. Look at this. Boom. Zeke 101. You were exposed. I like World of Warcraft, which I think is kind of a rhythm game. So I think that answer should properly trigger rhythm gamers. World of Warcraft is like a rhythm game without music. Hmm. All right, I'll be back. Let me shut off the stream and then return later. Au revoir.